Welcome, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. We have our moderator, Adelene, so you can go ahead and take it away.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are so excited to have you with us on our second Meet the Executives event of the semester. My name is Adilene Carrera, and I am the moderator of this event. And I also serve on the operations board with the Leadership Scholars. I would first like to introduce you to the director of the Center for Leadership here on campus, Dr. Jay Barbuto, who works to bring unparalleled enrichment experiences to all of the engaged students who are here today. Dr. Barbuto.
Thank you, Adelina. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, everyone, for being a part of today's event. This is an exciting day. Every year and a half or so, we have the privilege of hosting two of my favorite people that I have had the privilege of meeting in Orange County, Kim Letch and Ted Wilm. These two folks are so amazing. You're going to love learning from them. You're going to love meeting them. You're going to not want today's event to end, but it will eventually end. One of the things I wanted to share with each of you is what we do at the center, because everything we do at the center revolves around three things. We connect, we develop, and we serve. Everything we do has elements of these three things. Today, you are all here as leadership scholars so that we can connect you with some executives, so that you can develop your perspective and develop your learning and give you the opportunity to eventually give back and become part of something much bigger than just yourself. Everything the center does connects, develops, and serves. And the Leadership Scholars Program is one of our most prideful pieces that we have, and we're very proud of it. We have an incredible team here at the center. Rosie Burkett is the person who coordinates, manages, specializes. She does everything when it comes to our events and our student programs. She is a rock star. We also have Danya Barre. Danya is our business and community specialist. She does everything related to what we collaborate with and what we partner with industry. And she is also a rock star. We have an amazing team at the center that is committed and passionate to everything that we're trying to do. And with that, I'm so glad each of you could be here today. It's going to be an amazing day. Ted and Kim, you are in for something special. We've changed the way we do things here, not just because of the pandemic. These two have been on with our scholars several times in the past, and they're going to get to experience the new version of how we do these events. It's going to be really cool for them. It's going to be cool for all of us. And with that, I'm going to turn things back to Adelena. Thank you all for being here today. We are changing lives, and you're a big part of that.
Thank you, Dr. Barbuto. As always, we encourage you to get involved. Once you have become a leadership scholar, you are invited to join us in achieving our mission of providing invaluable resources to any student on campus. You can make an impact through our 5 boards. Development develops and plans the interactive workshops that we offer on campus. Human Resources engages with all the areas of membership, from inviting eligible scholars to join to awarding scholarships based on member participation. Marketing is essential to encourage new membership and get the word out about all of the amazing and free opportunities the Center for Leadership provides for the campus community. Operations is responsible for organizing the Meet the Executive series. Our members engage directly with the executives and host the event. Community outreach partners with the community to create meaningful volunteer opportunities for our members to volunteer and give back. We encourage you to join us for our next upcoming event, which is a self-care training workshop that is going to be held on Tuesday, March the 9th from 2 to 3:30 and is organized by our development board. Now I would like to pass it on to Selena Liu to introduce our first executive.
Awesome, thank you so much. It is with great excitement today that I get to introduce to everybody Mr. Ted Wilm from PwC today. His accounting path started when he was in high school while he was taking an accounting class which he found easy and interesting. During his time at college, he entered at PwC and signed on full-time after his graduation. He actually has been at numerous PwC locations and is now located at the one in Orange County. So feel free to ask him about what he feels about the different places in America. He spoke to me about how the coronavirus has impacted the firm and clients, as well as on a personal level. The firm was actually not impacted at all, as the employees were prepared with technology and training. While some of the clients made a lot of money during this time, others clearly struggled. Mr. Wilm personally definitely misses the human connection part, yet still gets his work done. And with all this, with all of the results of the coronavirus, he calls public accounting a nearly bulletproof career path, which I'm definitely sure is great for all of my fellow accounting students to hear. Now, Mr. Wilm gives us 2 tips of advice applicable to any student, regardless of our major. And that is to work hard and often, be proactive and comfortable with change. And then the second one is to never lose sight of your resume and future perspectives while brainstorming how to make those happen. And with this, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Wilm through the chat or through the clapping emoji reaction.
Gotcha. Well, thank you very, very much, Selena. That was awesome. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, you bet.
Thank you, Selena. Our next student presenter is Dayton Lee.
Thank you, Adelene. I would like to take the time to introduce our second executive. I had a chance to speak with our second executive a few weeks ago, and let me say, the first thing that caught my eye when having this conversation on Zoom with Kim was the large picture of pasta behind her. If you guys want to look at Kim right now, I think she still has that large picture of pasta behind her. During our conversation, I got to learn about her rich and rewarding career with Ernst & Young, which started in Australia, where she is originally from. And since then, she's worked in 3 different countries and 4 different offices. With over 29 years of experience, she is a partner at Ernst & Young and works in audit consulting. Professionally, she is passionate about serving clients and working with the team she can empower to be their best. Outside of work, she enjoys reading with her book club, podcasts, and taking care of her 2 children. It is my pleasure to introduce Kim Letch.
Thank you, Dayton. Appreciate that, and looking forward to talking with everybody this afternoon. I'm glad it was the pasta behind me that actually caught your attention, and not the fact that this photo that you have of me obviously needs a little bit of updating.
Kim, mine is 1,000 years old, so
I noticed it. Don't worry, I noticed.
You look great.
Flashback.
I'm happy to be forever young.
Thank you, Dayton. We are now going to utilize the Leadership Scholars Board to ask questions to our executives. We encourage our board members to introduce themselves, their major, and their expected graduation year before addressing the question to their executive. For all of our other student guests with us today, take note of any questions you have during our Q&A period, and you will have the opportunity to ask your questions during our breakout room session afterwards. Our first question will be asked by Mark Wax.
Okay, hi, my name is Mark Wax. I'm in graduating class of 2023, and my concentration is in human resources. My first question is for Ms. Letch, and the question is, how do you stay focused on your goals even when faced with obstacles?
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate the question. It's a good question because, as you would hopefully appreciate, there are a lot of obstacles at the moment. You know, whether or not it's working remotely, figuring out how to serve clients in the current environment and circumstance, and sometimes just figuring out, you know, where I need to get my children on in any particular day. Although now that they are teenagers, they're a lot more self-sufficient than they were 10 years ago when they needed more hand-holding. So now, in that respect, the question is more along the lines of, what is my role as your mother, as opposed to what it used to be. And so to answer your question, for me, context matters. And so focusing on my goals is really a long-term sport, and not a day-to-day overcoming the obstacles. I think recognizing goals for the long term, but accomplishments for the short term. What is it that I need to do today? What have I done today, and what needs to be planned for tomorrow? And so although my job requires me to navigate deadlines, most especially from clients, but also internally from within EY, I don't try to impose deadlines on myself for when a goal needs to be achieved, and then evaluate myself as either passing or failing because I, did or didn't achieve that goal today. But realizing that my career is a marathon during which many goals will be accomplished and achieved, and having a long-term focus, not ignoring the obstacles, but trying to deal with what I can deal with today, and leveraging them as an opportunity to either to remove the obstacle, to refine my goal, or to be a catalyst for maybe changing what that goal is for the future.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kim. Our next question will now be asked by Jericho.
Thanks, Adelena. Yeah, my name is Jericho. I'm a second-year student planning to concentrate in finance. And I had a question for Ted, which is, what should students look for in an accounting firm to know that the company is a great fit for them?
Gotcha. Okay, so I'll go here, right? PwC is a big accounting firm, much like Ernst & Young. We have tens of thousands of employees. And what brings us all together? Because we're all so different, right? We're all so different, right? Man, woman, age, where we grew up, the whole thing, right? We're all unique. We're all individuals. Why are we all at one firm, right? And what I've come up with over the years is it's the type of individual, people that are self-starting, self-motivated, don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today, right? Huge qualities. Being proactive, being helpful, what can I do? How can I help? Being there for one another. Again, huge, huge qualities, right? The other thing is comfortable with change. And I'll even go a step further than that. Embrace change and often drive change, make change happen, right? That's what the firms are all about, right? So if you're an individual that is not comfortable with change, if you like things status quo forever, public accounting may not be the place for you, to be honest with you, right? You really, really have to embrace change at a minimum and likely drive change and make change happen, right? That's really the lifeblood of the firms. And that's the lifeblood that we like to give to our clients. And then lastly, embrace technology, right? Technology is changing like there is no tomorrow, right? And so that's really, really, really key, right? The technology, and we all have an iPhone, right? Someday, 10 years, 20 years from now, this will be an antique. You'll be telling stories about iPhones and people will be like, how in the world did you possibly get anything done with that, right? Where today it's a leading edge device, right? So technology changes and you have to roll with those punches, as they say. And then finally, everybody at the firm is smart, right? They all have wonderful cumes. They all have great leadership qualities. They all have, compassion for one another and work well in a team environment, right? So that's what brings everybody together, right? And so, the advice to each and every one of you is do that soul searching and think about those qualities that I just kind of listed out that make people successful at a public accounting firm. And you don't have to have them all, and you don't have to be great at all of them, but which ones do you have? And which ones are you ready to contribute with, right? that will make you a very, very successful professional, whether it's at Ernst & Young, whether it's at PwC, whether it's at another company in Orange County, whether it's another company literally across the world. If you have those qualities, you will absolutely be successful, guaranteed. So Jericho, I hope I did justice to your wonderful question.
That was perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ted. Our next question will now be asked by Selena.
Hi, thank you. My name is Selena, and I'm currently a second-year pre-business major, planning on pursuing a joint emphasis in accounting and finance. And my question is for Ms. Letch. During your college years, what influenced your decision to pursue a career in accounting?
Thank you, Selena. And I'm going to confirm that you can hear me properly because there's some noise going on in the background here. Okay, good.
It sounds professional quality.
Sorry?
It sounds professional quality.
Oh, good. Well, I did put my headphones on for the purpose of that. What influenced my decision to pursue a career in accounting? Number one, getting a job that would pay me. That was always a good start. But secondly, and perhaps more importantly, and joking aside, through college, I really wasn't sure what it was that I wanted to do for employment. I always knew that I wanted to work in business. That was what got me into do a Bachelor of Commerce degree, economics and accounting at the University of Melbourne. So I knew fundamentally that I wanted to involve myself with businesses, but was never really sure what kind of business that I wanted to focus on, or what industry, or in what position. And so really going through college, trying to figure that out, what public accounting offered me was the opportunity to work with and gain visibility to a number of different employers and operations in different businesses to really, and maybe it was procrastinating my decision, but prolong making a specialization decision by looking at what else is available. What could I do? Rather than go directly into a particular industry, into a particular role, give myself time to look at a range of different companies across a range of different industries, to then make a decision and figure out, well, this is what I really wanted to do and enjoy. And in the process, back in the days where independence restrictions didn't rule, you could do rotations, out at clients. And so I was put out at a client for 6 months or so to close the monthly books and get them in order before the audit firm came in and audited. Nothing that we could do today. So then I gained a tremendous amount of respect for people that close the books every month, but knew that that is not what I wanted to do, and that was not my highest and best use. So in the process of doing that, really evaluated, what are my skills? What is it that I enjoy doing? And how does working in accounting influence that? And I liked the variety. I liked the flexibility. I liked solving problems. My children asked me today, what is it that you do? I solve problems every single day, which is probably not as specific enough, and they don't need to know just yet, but I like working in teams. And in the process of doing that, I like working at an organization that predictably has advanced my career, especially during the early years. I knew starting as a staff when I would make senior, approximately as long as I continued to perform, when I would make manager. A lot more effort required to be eligible to make partner, but that opportunity was available. And so for me, the process of coming to work at a public accounting firm has actually led to positions that I have thrived and enjoyed, and there was never anything else that I looked at and said, oh no, I want to do that more. the variety, the opportunities, the responsibilities has kept me here. And as you heard Dylan say at the beginning, 3 countries, 5 different offices, and mercifully, I am not doing the job today that I began with almost 29 years ago. But that was so fundamentally important 29 years ago to laying the foundation for what I am doing today. So that's really what influenced me, that need for perspective, variety, flexibility, and opportunity. And it's still paying the bills. I hope that answers your question, Selena.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Our next question will now be asked by Ryan.
Hi, my name is Ryan. I'm a junior. My major is finance. I'm expected to graduate next year on May. So my question is for Mr. Ted. So how and when did you know that accounting was a career path for you?
Oh, sorry, you broke up there a little bit at the end. How did I know something?
Oh, how and when did you know that accounting was the career path for you?
Accounting was the career path for me. So as Selena maybe mentioned a little bit in my intro, right? I was fortunate that in my high school, in my senior year, they offered an accounting class, and many high schools don't. And I took it. You know, I was kind of an AP honors, kind of student through high school. It was a second semester class my senior year. And to be honest with you, I was looking for, an easy way, right? I'll just take this thing called accounting. I didn't really know much about it. It was just an elective, and I took it. And it came really easy to me, and I liked it, right? It came really easy to me, and I liked it. And I started looking around for, different schools to apply to, and opened my eyes a little bit more toward business and this thing called accounting, right? And I ended up selecting a school to go to, which was Villanova University, back on the East Coast outside of Philadelphia, because it had a great business school. And it was about an hour and a half away from, where I live with my parents. And off I went. And the more I got into accounting through my years at Villanova and everything else, it really kind of dawned on me that accounting for me is the language of business, right? It is absolutely the language of business. You need to know the numbers. You need to do the budgets. You need to do the forecasts. You need to understand, the actual results, the historical stuff and GAAP. And it's the language of business, and it's universal, right? And then I said, well, okay, if I'm doing this thing called accounting and I like it and it comes easy and it's this language of business, oh my gosh, I can become a public accountant. I had no idea what that was, but I figured it out. And boy, with, maybe 12, 14 years or so of really, really hard work, maybe you're lucky enough to literally be a partner in a public accounting firm, which I viewed as the pinnacle of a profession, right? And accounting is a profession, right? Just like a nurse, just like a doctor, just like a lawyer, there are professions that are out there, and being a public accountant is one of them. And I said, well, what the heck? Let's give this thing a shot. And like many of you, I went through the interview process. I later was selected as an intern. I interned my junior year in college and then signed on with the firm, my senior year after graduation. But I still didn't really know what I wanted to do, right? I was really good at accounting, had good grades, knew it was the language of business, knew that if I worked really hard and had some great fortune and luck, that I might become a partner in 14, 15, 16, 12, whatever years. Again, to Kim's point, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? And off I went. I didn't know what I wanted to do at the firm. I started in the tax department. Then I wasn't so sure. I went to the audit department. Then I wasn't so sure again. I went back to the tax department. And then I bounced around from client to client and industry to industry for about 6 years. all at PwC, right? And finally, a partner sat down with me and said, Ted, and this is 6 years in, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I looked at him and I said, what in the world do you mean? I didn't quite say it that way. It's probably a little more polite, but like, what do you mean? Like, and he's like, well, I see you work on multinationals. I see you work on insurance companies. I see you work on small companies. I see you work on, you did 2 stints, not 1, but 2 stints in the tax department. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he helped me answer that question because it got me to focus. And for me, it was financial services, really, to deal with investments and the stock market. I loved that. And I had a client at the time called Vanguard, big mutual fund family. And I loved watching the stock market. I still do, right? And so I told him that. And he said, well, then why don't you do it? And that was the license that I needed. That was the approval that I needed. I raised my hand. I told the firm, please, financial services, asset wealth management, investments, sign me up. And I never looked back, right? So it's a little bit of, maybe luck. Maybe it's, doing what you're good at. You got to enjoy it. It's not all going to come in one fell swoop, and it's certainly not going to come in a month or a year. It comes in decades, right? A career is measured in decades, and sticking with it. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you love. You got to do what's going to get you out of bed in the morning and get you enthusiastic to go to work. Not every day's been rosy. Not every day's been rosy, but there's been a lot more rosy days than sad ones, right? And deep down inside, I love what I do, and I'm following my goal and I'm following my dreams, and you just don't look back. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah,
Hey, Ted, can I just add on to that as well? I
Sure,
think one of the really, really valuable things about that as well that I would like to make clear is you don't have to know day one exactly what you want to do. You really don't, and have all the answers. It's much more important to be curious and experiment and figure it out as you go, but just go, right? And be willing to move in that direction than it is to know day one. Bless the people that want to be a doctor and know that day one, but even what field of medicine, that may evolve as well, right? I was never that person, and Ted, it sounds like you weren't either. And I think being willing to be curious and to move forward is really more important than anything as you begin your career.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Kim and Ted. Thank you for sharing your passion, and I hope you can continue your career. I'm actually focusing on investment.
I hope so too, Terry.
But
No, go ahead.
I'm unsure yet. I'm actually pursuing investment, but we'll see what I do later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted and Kim. The next question will now be asked by Jericho.
Hi, I had another question, this time for Kim. Now I wanted to ask you, how do you keep a team motivated in the face of conflicts and adversities?
By not focusing on the conflicts and adversities. I think, very, very important to deal with them. Otherwise, conflicts and adversities and obstacles that get ignored become so much bigger than they need to be. So acknowledging them, dealing with them, particularly as a team, I think is critical. But going back to one of my earlier comments, I also think motivation comes from, knowing the ultimate goal, but celebrating the accomplishments with the team. What did we get done today? And it's always when you look forward there, I think there is a tendency to lament how far there is to go without looking back and realizing how far you've already come. And so, recognizing how far we've come today, and then looking forward and saying, okay, but what do we need to get done tomorrow, right? Like, what can we done? I love the metaphors that you don't climb a mountain in one step. It's one step at a time, to get to the top. And I think with my teams, that's what I try and focus on, and helping to motivate them that way. Like, especially at this time of year when it's so busy, don't think about, how, this is going to take forever, one day at a time. And January, goes into February, and, now we're in March. How do we get to March? It happens quickly. There'll always be obstacles, but those will pass, right? History tells us those things, they don't last forever, that they too will pass. And so focusing on what we can control and what we can accomplish is really important. And I also believe in being very vocal and articulating appreciation to a team member for what they are doing and what they are contributing, so that they know that I see them, I hear them, and I recognize their contributions, even when it's hard, and especially because it's hard in addition to the good times. For me, that's what motivating them means.
Perfect. That definitely helps a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. The next question will now be asked by Mark.
Hi again. I have a second question, which this time is for Mr. Wilm. And my question is, did you always know that you would be in a top leadership position right from the start?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It just didn't, right? A little bit of me was, you always felt humble, right? Lucky to get an offer to join the firm. Lucky, to get promoted along the way. Lucky, humble, gracious, whatever you want to call it, to make partner, right? I remember, sitting in the room with a whole bunch of new partners and like, how the heck did I get here, right? The day I made partner, it was a custom at PwC that all of the partners would convene in the conference room, in the main conference room. And you as a candidate would sit by your phone at your desk. And oh, by the way, the phone had a cord on it. Okay. So it was a little while ago, but you'd sit by your desk and you'd wait for a phone call. And the office managing partner would welcome you to meet all of the other partners in the conference room. That's how you knew you were admitted, right? And I'll get a little choked up, but because I still remember it. But as I went down that hallway, and the first guy I saw was the office managing partner of the office in San Francisco that day. And I thanked him. I said, thank you, right, for making me a partner. And he looked me in the eye and he said, Ted, you don't have to thank me. You don't have to thank anybody else in this room. You deserve it. You earned it. We don't give partnership admission to just anybody. You earned it, right? And that was another aha moment for me, right? To, stop feeling lucky, stop feeling, how did I get in this room? You earned it, right? Just like each and every one of you earned your chair, earned your seat, at Cal State Fullerton, doing your studies. And as you go forward in life, remember that you earned it, right? That was the biggest, one of the biggest things for me. Did I ever think that I was gonna, be in a leadership position? No. But I think I know what got me there. I think I know what got me to be a leader at PwC. And that is to be helpful to our people, right? I'm not the leader. I'm kind of the champion helper. How can I help my fellow partners get where they want to go? How can I help my fellow colleagues and employees in PwC Irvine, Orange County? We've got 450 people there. How can I help them succeed? What do they want to go? What do they want to be? How can I help you? I think that's ultimately what kind of made me successful. And over the years, you gain a lot of experience, just a ton of experience. Kim said, every journey is one step at a time, but you've been around long enough, you take a lot of steps. And it's sharing that wisdom and sharing that knowledge with other people to help make them successful. That becomes leadership, right? And I think that's how I got to, becoming the office managing partner of PwC Orange County and, being one of 6 partners that helps run our Southwest region business, which is 9 offices and over $1 billion worth of revenue, right? Did I ever think I was going to get there? Absolutely not. Was it a goal? No way. I got there helping others, and people recognized, hey, this guy helps people. Let's get him in a leadership position so he can help even more. That's, I think, what made me successful. But it was never a goal or even an inkling of a dream. I was always wondering if I was good enough. And that day, I was told I was good enough.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing.
You got it.
Thank you so much, Ted. The next question will now be asked by Terrence.
So yes, this is a question for Ms. Letch. Ms., what skills do graduates need to be successful in your firm? Thank you.
Curiosity, coming back to my earlier comments, I think, Terrence. Flexibility, knowing that everything doesn't work out perfectly, that, it is important to pivot, evolve, and know that the path that you imagined is not always the path that ends up, but know that you're capable of it as well, I think is incredibly important. Strong communication skills are essential, both written and verbal. I think a big component of being a good leader is being a good communicator, and I tell stories. That's what I do, based on the experience that Ted just referenced, that, when you've been here a long time, you have a lot of stories, and a lot of them are good stories, but a lot of them are war stories as well. And I'm a big proponent of sharing my scars for the benefit of others, and knowing that, what you're going through is normal, and I can help you, and I'm here to support you as well. So, get engaged in some of those stories, and both good and, tell the stories yourself. I think. I also think and strongly believe that an essential skill is a willingness to want to get to the right answer, but not to be right. And that nuance or distinction is very important in client service, because I really do think that we are there, finding solutions, helping our clients, engaging in a conversation. And if we're only there to tell a client, well, right or wrong, if I might as well have, been a teacher, no offense, Jay. But I think there's more, for me, helping clients to get to the right answer is really important. And the older I get, the more I learn that accounting is not right or wrong. It's not black or white. There's a lot of gray in between. And so interpreting that and applying some logic to gap, even when there is none, is important. I think recognizing that, by definition, it is hard work, but it is also, a foundational experience that will prepare you for a career journey, whatever that may be. And so that willingness to work hard, to earn the promotion and the opportunity and the responsibility, and then embrace that and take hold of that. Whether or not you choose, like Ted and I, to stay in public accounting or you choose to go elsewhere, it's really important from the beginning that attitude of engagement. Right?
Definitely. Thank you for being a good leader too.
Oh, thank you. You know, a bit like Ted, I'm here to help other people. And if that makes me a good leader, it means I'm here in support of others and to amplify their effect, not to be the effect myself. I think, you know, as much as I was so proud of making in Partner, I think some of my greater accomplishments are really about helping others to fulfill their goals and to make Partner as well. And to, you know, as a leader, it's, you know, it is to be a servant, right? And to help others. And for me, that's been a joy in my career, and I would do it again. Even though I never predicted that this would be the path or here I would be. You know, I left Australia. When did I leave? 1995, thinking I would be gone 18 months and back again. And here I am, you know, many, many years later, in a different country, in a different city, still working with EY. Never ever thought that would be the path. And yet, open to opportunities, being flexible, embracing responsibility can lead to such unexpected joys in ways that we would not have chosen, or I would not have chosen for myself. I think has enabled success at EY, and I think hopefully, you know, attributes that a graduate would embrace at coming to work at a firm like EY or at PwC. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Ted, and what makes graduates successful.
All the above.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Mr. Rick and Mrs. Kim.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. The next question will now be asked by Emily.
Hello, my name is Emily Kim, and I am a pre-business major expecting to graduate in the spring of 2024. And my question is for Mr. Ted, and that is, what do you think is the most vital piece of information that accounting students should know about themselves or about accounting when it comes to interviews?
Wow. Accounting when it comes to interviews, be yourself. Be yourself, right? You know, let me give you all a little bit of license, right? You get into that interview room, you earned it, right? You're there. Your resume, your grades, your leadership, your community service, it earns you the right to sit in that interview chair, right? And so celebrate that, you know, be confident with that. Don't let the nerves get to you, right? I've seen many, many, many nervous students, right, in an interview chair. Remember that, you know, myself, Kim, other people that will interview you, we all started somewhere too, right? Like I said, I interviewed, I was an intern, I was a first-year staff accountant, you know, I just did it. I just came out of the womb decades before you. That's all, right? And so, you know, just remember that you belong in that chair. You earned your way into that chair through a lot of hard work and a lot of effort. And just be yourself, right? Because that inner you will shine through. Your heart will be out there. Your passion will be out there. The interviewer will see that, and you'll be a success. I really honestly do believe that. Now, I'll give you a couple other pointers, right? Some interview killers, right? An interview killer, particularly for any employer, is know really what you want to do. And I'll give you a great example. From time to time, we will see people that will be in an interview and they'll say, well, I want to go into public accounting for a year, and then I want to go become a lawyer and go off to law school. Or I then want to go back to college for an MBA, full time, et cetera, get a master's degree in business. That's difficult to hear as an interviewer, right? And why, right? It's because, okay, if we end up making you an offer, you're already telling us you're only going to be at the firm for a year, right? We're looking for people that are committed to a career. We're looking for people that, can look out 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Nobody can look out past that. I couldn't. I don't think Kim looked out past that either, right? But you should be able to look out 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And is this really what you want to do, right? And if your heart is really to become a lawyer, then go straight from Cal State Fullerton to law school. If your heart is to be, an MBA, then and again, full-time MBA, right, where you can't work during the day, right? Then go from Cal State Fullerton to go into an MBA program, right? While you're a student, be a student, right? And follow that dream. There's nothing against higher education, but you have to be true to yourself. Is what do you want? And if you're in that room because you earned it, and if you're in that room is because you want it, be yourself and you will be a success, because that inner you will shine through in spades. So that's the biggest advice that I can give you, along with a couple of that would go for any, right? It's kind of like, hey, I'm interviewing for your company, but I really only kind of want to work there for a year. It doesn't have to be public. You can substitute any name in there, right? Mm-hmm. As an employer, why would I want that, right? Why would I want to say no to 5 or 6 other people that I could have interviewed? Why would I want to say no to many more other people I could have given an offer to pick you for a year, right? Now, I'll also go there, one last piece. It's okay if you don't know, right? I'd keep that to your inner self. And we do have people that after 3 years or 5 years or whatever it is, they change their mind. They decide they want to go become a lawyer, or they want to go to MBA, or they want to just get out of public accounting. That happens, right? That's okay. Those people, I honestly believe, have circumstances change. They're what they want to do with their career changes. They go on and do other things. That's okay. But if your heart's not in it, then don't take up the spot for somebody else. And more importantly, go follow your own passion, right? So I hope that helps. A couple interview killers on the end.
I 100% agree with that. And I think nothing boils my blood more than someone that leaves within 12 months, because I do feel like, you either didn't do your research on what it is that we did, or you weren't honest with yourself or with us, and you took somebody else's position who really wanted this and could have made something of their career. And so I think being very thoughtful to commit to really understand the job. If you come long enough to actually understand what it is that we do, and how important or pivotal it can be as a foundation for whatever you end up doing after that. I really do think that is an important part of your own growth.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think those are really great points and just an amazing perspective you guys provided. So thank you so much.
You got it, Emily.
Thank you, Ted and Kim. This concludes our Q&A portion of the event. We will now break out into breakout rooms. Your group should stay the same and our executives will rotate between the breakout rooms. See you soon. This concludes our event. Thank you so much to Kim Letch and Ted Wilm for joining us today. And thank you for everyone who attended.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And Kim and Ted, is it okay if people reach out to you on LinkedIn at all?
Of course. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
Terrific.
Yeah, it's ted.wilm@pwc.com. So, feel free, no problem. We're here for you.
Kim.letch@ey.com. Very
Pretty
easy.
simple. Yeah. And again, thank you guys for all your time too. We really, really appreciate meeting each and every one of you.
No, that's great. Ted and Kim, if you have a minute, if you can stay on after, I'd love to just
Sure.